Hello and welcome back to the Dream Saga. My name is Cody, and I appreciate you coming back. This week, the podcast is solo. It's all right. It's me. But this week, we're going to talk a little bit about video games, like always. When don't I talk about video games truly? I mean, come on. Excuse me. So we're going to talk about video games. We're also going to talk about how things are going over on the website, how things are running on YouTube itself. So start off, we're going to talk a little bit about video games. I have recently gotten addicted to, I guess it's an older game. I thought it was a little newer. It's called Game Dev Tycoon, where you actually just create... you're a game developer and you're creating games for the current consoles, and you kind of start in the PC era, and then the first Ninvento is what it's called, the Ninvento Entertainment System. And so they changed the names, but they all kind of look, how you would expect. But it all plays out actually how kind of history did, like, oh, we think this is going to go really great, and then it disappears, that kind of stuff. It's a lot of fun. If you haven't played it already, definitely check it out. It's about $10 on Steam. It's compatible for PC, Mac, and I don't know if it is Linux, but I know it just had like a ton of different things it could play, which I was kind of shocked at, because a lot of those games are usually just, PC or Linux. Linux less often, but definitely more than Mac. The other couple little video game things that I want to talk about were my retro streams. I know this kind of plays along with the YouTube thing, but it kind of wraps all around, and we'll get into that. The retro streams I do. I love doing them. They're just a hoot and holler. I have, if you're watching the vidcast, I have my orange N64 with Banjo-Kazooie logged up. And then I also have Devil May Cry as one of my featured games, because that is definitely something I want to play here soon. Because the Devil May Cry series for me was awesome. Definitely played that way more than I should have growing up. But the retro streams don't attract as many people that want to watch them. And so I'm kind of here to say, hey, if you have watched them, what do you think could be different? What draws you to the retro stream, coming back if you have. If you haven't, I do retro streams about once or twice a week that include anything from, the Nintendo Entertainment System all the way up to the PlayStation 2, which I know isn't retro, but they're the games from yesteryear, so that's why I like playing those guys. The other thing, my Fallout 4 stream, which is kind of like the new age of gaming. It's a more recent game. I've been playing that. I've got at least 6 or 7 of those up now. And people really enjoy them. I get a lot of hits out of that. A lot of people thumbs it up. So, there's definitely a difference. Maybe because it's easier for me to share the Fallout 4 stuff, and it goes up to a more recent category. That's why people see it. Or, I don't know. I definitely think, tags and, it being a newer game, people are a little more invested in that. I think that's one of the reasons people do come back. Not too totally sure what's going on there. And then we'll just kind of segue right into YouTube. How has YouTube been treating the Dream Saga? YouTube has treated us very well. Starting off, we didn't get, a whole lot of hits. People weren't really getting involved. And it's gotten a lot better. We are over a month old. About 78 subscribers so far. Woo! which I think is a respectable number for being a month old. Our biggest videos over there are our Fallout 4 streams. I can't wait to put up different content. I have a lot in store and a lot of really exciting things that I've gotten greenlit by people that I've talked to, and so there's a lot of really fun stuff coming, and I really, really hope you guys enjoy. But definitely the newer video games have gotten much more prevalent a treatment, the vidcast itself, people seem to enjoy. I get no harsh feedback, thankfully. Not since the last, one of the older podcasts I did where the music was just a little too loud. So, what I'm trying to say, we were just partnered up with Fullscreen, which is a company that brings you in. You basically join their little community there, and they give you the features to promote your channel, make sure that your channel can grow, you're connecting with the right people. And so that just happened today. I just got that confirmation. It was about a week. I was pretty sure I wasn't going to get it. We're a small channel. We're getting, 20, 30, views per video. It's not like a major thing, but we are growing, and we are growing quickly, at least in certain aspects, because I've seen people who are much, much older at far less, and I don't know if it's something that they've stalled or they're not doing the same things maybe I'm doing, but that's kind of where we're at right now. The other part of YouTube is collaborations with other people. I try to be as active as I can on other channels and things like that. I would love to collaborate with more people. I definitely am open to all of that. There's definitely some obstacles when dealing with other channels and things like that, when it comes down just to making sure you're both on the right mindset when coming down to do these things. But yeah, it's a struggle. It's a bit of a struggle bus, just because you're dealing with an entire different entity. You're dealing with other people who are doing the same thing you are, either video games, vlogs, podcasts, what have you, but it's competition, truly. No matter what it is, it's always competition. Who can do better? Who's bigger? When they get bigger, are they going to bring other people with them? How are they going to bring other people with them? So I guess that's kind of where I'm at right now, is just trying to find, if I can find another channel, or if I'm going to need another channel to kind of help, broadcast into a different audience to try to, either gain, people that follow my stuff, hey, there's this other people we talk to. So there's a lot of little things that we can do to try to, cross promote and all that fun stuff. So it's a work in progress. Sorry, the music hit a wonderful moment there. I was like, is that too loud? Because that just took me out of my little thing there. Anyway, I'm kind of getting sidetracked. On the YouTube stuff, that's kind of where we're at. So we're gonna lay that down. I do want to talk a little bit more about the console war that's kind of going on. We've got a little bit more knowledge around the PlayStation Neo, which is not coming out until next year, 2017, end of 2017, roughly. I don't think there's an exact date yet, which for me, it still kind of sucks that, they're going to release basically just an expansion to the PlayStation, where it's going to be a lot better, but it's because in the past they did, the PlayStation Fat, quotations there, fat, because it was the big system. Then they did the PlayStation 3 fat, and then they did the slim, which was, had slightly upgraded, inner workings, but nothing major, nothing that like changed the game, nothing that gave you more in one thing or another. I mean, upgraded RAM, and then you have, just different variations of that, and it just kind of gets smaller and more compact, which is kind of what you would want to see. But those games that you bought for the PlayStation 3 at the end of its life cycle still played on the original PlayStation 3 just fine. There's no difference. Now you're going to have the PlayStation 4, which is a powerhouse, and then you're basically bringing in a whole new console that can play those games. So it's backwards compatible, but it's like the new PlayStation 4, games will play so much better on this. They'll still play okay on the original, but you're going to want that newer system to get that better, and there's been a lot of people that, have multiple systems that are super upset at this, and, a lot of them feel like they now need to get the newest one, just to stay, like, with the times, and I don't think that's necessary. I think, a lot of that comes down to, like, hey, I just bought this, I feel like I've gotten my money's worth. I've played my PlayStation 4 more than anything. I thankfully have only had one controller. I haven't had to like swap out the controllers or anything like that, even though my current PlayStation controller, the Vibrate, doesn't work very well. I've worn that guy out. It squeaks really bad with the triggers, and so I try to muffle that during my Fallout 4 streams. I've been playing a lot of PlayStation 2 lately, and I'm going to be getting into that for the retro streams. I played Mega Man Legends, which is one of my all-time favorite games. I was kind of leery playing it. My network, again, was having some issues, so it stopped midway, saying I didn't have enough broadband, and I think a lot of it comes down to the software I use, because I feel like it is limiting what I can do based off what it thinks. Because I can stream Fallout 4, 2 hours without a hiccup, on okay internet. But if I have like the strongest internet I've had all week, where for some reason the charter gods have shown me mercy and, are letting everything download really quick, it, won't go past, like, it's like, we're only going to let it do this, and it's like, oh, low bandwidth, sorry, and it'll just tick it off. And so that, for me, I don't know if that is just a limitation of that software. The software doesn't work for me very well. I'm going to attempt to uninstall it and reinstall it and see if that helps at all. I'm now just going through, like, I don't even mess with it. I just want it to go live. I just want it to broadcast it, and then I have the YouTube page pulled up, and then I have my phone that has all the links on it, so I can just start sending it all out. If you guys haven't been a part of one of my live streams, I do it all the time. That's basically what my channel is. I have this is the only pre-recorded and edited thing I put on there. Everything else is live in the moment. I mean, if you go there, it was all live at one point and now up there, but it is all live, which I truly love. There's going to be some pre-recorded and edited content going up, mainly based around St. Louis and St. Louis businesses, so really look forward to that. I'm kind of trying to stretch my wings a little bit and trying to do something fun. So hopefully it works out. Fingers crossed. Excuse me. But kind of getting back into that Elgato software and streaming, because we went from PlayStation 4 to new PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 2 streaming. So yeah, I got you there. I didn't. The And so the streaming there is kind of iffy on the retro stuff. So I'm going to continue to do it no matter what. I've just got to figure out how to use it correctly. Because it always says, like, at least on YouTube side, that it's a healthy green stream. And then, like, last night, 20 minutes into it, it just cut off. And I had to, like, stop the stream and turn it back on for it to continue. Thankfully, it didn't create 2 videos. But, like, it was just kind of unnerving. Because I'm like, I've just been playing for 20 minutes. There's nothing else going on. This is the only activity on my router. Like, I got a new modem and router. There should be no issues here. If it is something that I continue to have, I might have them come out and check the line a little bit, and just like swap out any connectors, or just in case. Everything else works perfect except for this part. Of course, because that's the part that I enjoy most, is playing these old games for everybody. And we're gonna kind of segue right into the website, because we've talked about gaming, we've talked about the YouTube stuff, and a little bit of the podcast, vidcast stuff. But the website that I've built, I've had quite a good amount of traffic. That people have visited it. I'm really bad at speaking today. The best part about the website is I have everything there, which I'm going to be updating periodically with, new pictures and this and that, and just making sure I have everything ready to go. Once I start getting into more, going out and about, I might throw up some vlogs of like what the Dream Saga is doing or where I'm going. So that's gonna be really fun. The site is live, thedreamsaga.com. I have business cards. If anybody's ever interested, I will send some to you. I don't care. I'll send them to you. I'll send a couple your way. But they're really fun. The site has the blogger, the vidcast, the YouTube stuff, and also has the podcast stuff. I don't have any merch. I'm not selling anything. I don't know if I will anytime soon. If I do, I don't know. I don't know. It hasn't hit me to do anything like that because I'm not big enough. I don't have a fan base. I do, 78 subscribers. Hey. But there's not a whole lot there. It's just me doing my thing. And so I want to try and get bigger. I want to get better. I want to make sure that on a regular basis I'm bringing out quality content for everybody. And until that point where it is an overall, hey, I really want to, wear a shirt. Cool, I'll work with some people and try to get that started. So there's no store at the website. I may myself have content that, like shirts or anything that I wear personally, but typically those won't be for sale unless the person who makes it for me decides that they would like to sell it. If they want to do that, not against it. I truly am going to try to do this as open and what's the word there? Just as open as possible. Transparent. I'm going to try to be as transparent as possible. When people ask me questions, I'm not going to try to skirt around it. There's a couple things I don't need out in the world. Just personal stuff and like where I live, where I work. I don't plan on posting any of that information anywhere. And if you ask, I will not reply. Or if I like, hey, I'm not going to answer that. But those are the few things that I myself will not answer. But if you ask me about, certain things, I'll give you the answer the best I can. In the stream, people ask me what video game systems I have, and I rattled everything off. And, there's a few things I'm missing, like the Sega CD and other things like that. So, ask questions. Don't ever be afraid not to ask me anything. I will always reply with the best answer I can. Like I said, I want to be as transparent as possible. Now that I remember that word, I will use it as much as I possibly can. Transparent. Panda. But yeah, that's kind of where the Dream Saga is right now. We are, I say we, I'm working as hard as I can to make sure I bring new, innovative, it's a word. There's a word there, that, and I'm pretty sure you know where I'm going. Innovative, there we go. Videos and content as much as I can, so I'm working on everything. I'm trying to get everything written down, scored out, ready to go. And that's been working out for me very well. I have a few projects in line, like I've said before, and I'm really, really excited to share that with everybody. So this is not going to be the hour-long marathon of a Vidcast podcast like last week when we had Michael and we were talking a little bit about St. Louis, which that's where I'm going to be focusing a lot of my effort is I'm in this city. I was born in Florissant, and I grew up in Las Vegas. I don't know the city like other people who have been living here their entire lives. So I'm going to be trying to get out there and visiting locations and trying to work with them. Like I want to know more about this place. Why'd you pick St. Louis? Why this location? Like all that fun stuff. And I really want to bring other people with me along that. So please look forward to that. That should be it'd be a couple weeks. It's definitely nothing I can do right now because I don't have the gear. As much as I like having my phone, I don't have a proper microphone or a stabilizer for it. So as much as it'd be okay with me just running around with my phone and a lens on it, I really want something more. And so that's where I'm going to gather everything I possibly can. First, go in there with the best gear I can and do the best I can. I don't want to put something out that is not the best I possibly can. And if my best is what I feel, but someone else can come in and be like, hey, A, B, C, D, and that makes it better, perfect. I will never, very sorry, little burpee, and I think it just made a weird gurgly noise. Which I heard it here, but I don't know if I heard it here, so I do apologize if I just grossed you out there. The only other thing that I wanted to talk about today was a little bit of a Doctor Who news and trailer reaction to the newest companion. The newest companion, if you haven't watched it, please do. We're still rocking Peter Capaldi as the Doctor, and they are kind of running through this area with the Doctor, the Daleks. And, they keep saying exterminate, and the relationship that I feel is happening is one of kind of like when Tennant was with, it was the Dr. Donna, it was Donna and the Doctor in that relationship where it was a lot of like quick retorts and, humor and emotions that way, but it wasn't more of like, oh, do they fancy each other? It was more of like a true companion-esque feel, which really just like blew me away because like immediately just like this is what I wanted to see. As much as I really like the previous seasons with Capaldi, I really think that they stretched out Clara just a little bit. She was the impossible girl, and they did a whole bunch of stuff where it just made her more than the Doctor, because the show is Doctor Who, not the companions and Doctor Who. And so I feel like they made her bigger and like more special, if that's a word, than the Doctor himself. And for me, it's like I come to watch Doctor Who. I come to watch the Doctor and his companions go on adventures. I don't want to see a story driven around the companion on her adventures or where she's going next, even though they kind of ended it in a weird way where it's like, could there be a spinoff? Could she, do this? They're going to be time traveling in a diner. I don't know. But yeah, it's strange. I'm hoping that this next series, she's just a companion. There's no relationship involved. There's no like lost love or issues that way. I hope it is, what I feel in that trailer. And like I said, please watch that trailer, because it was fun. It was warm-hearted. There was these quick retorts and the humor's there. And that's, it can get serious. It can have its serious moments, but it is a journey. It is bringing you for an adventure. And that's where, the Dr. Donna was one of my favorite seasons. That was by far just like what I personally like in Doctor Who. I've watched a lot of Doctor Who. I've been making my way back through the original series to really fully understand where these characters have come from. The Doctor, the past, really, the past/future, wibbly wobbly. Anyway, and so that's why, I'm a huge Doctor Who fan for where the stories have come from, and that's kind of why I have all these Doctor Who pop figures and some Titan figures there as well. I've got Matt Smith, was it McGann, Sylvester, and then another Matt Smith, Weeping Angel. I have I know the name. Adipose, yes. Peter Capaldi and a Dalek and the TARDIS itself. So this is kind of that's my fandom. I love watching Doctor Who. I don't branch out much in the TV world. I watch Sherlock. I'm currently watching through the Trailer Park Boys, which one of my good friends recommended me to watch because it is just brilliant. I'm a huge fan of Canadian sitcoms and shows, and this is kind of the very first mockumentary, which are my favorite. So it's the TV world. I don't branch out very much. I was explaining this to a coworker the other day, where I have the same movies on my phone and my iPad, and I really I added Deadpool and Mad Max to that collection. That's really all I watch. I don't know why. My movies are Scott Pilgrim versus the World, Fanboys, which I'm a Star Wars fan, but I'm not a fanatic, and I've explained that in previous podcasts where it's a world, but I don't. If you just watch the movies and you don't look at all the expanded universe stuff, I don't know where they get all this information, from. And a lot of it is the expanded universe, and I'm getting kind of off track here, but follow me on this. The Lucas camp has gone through and just kind of scrubbed away a lot of that. And so I don't know where the knowledge lies. I don't know where they get this information and what's true and what's not true. A lot of the games, I believe, were null and void, the ones that are really big, where all this information comes from. So, when I watch those movies, I see, Jedi and Sith. I see a conflict there. But when I talk to somebody who is a Star Wars fan, they know their shit. They're like, oh, but he's a gray Jedi and he's this, or I don't see it. Which, in a way, there's always going to be more information. I could look up everything about Mad Max and the character developments and these backstories, and that's the same thing for them. They look up everything. They look up the backstories. They try to figure out what else they can learn because they love this world. But Fanboys, we've got Mad Max, the newer one, and the older one. The older ones were great, but I do like what they did with Mad Max, where it was kind of like a James Bond-esque style of video. Not to clarify, it's Mad Max the character played by whoever can pick up the mantle. It doesn't have to be Mel Gibson. Tom Hardy is a fantastic actor, and I loved it. There's a lot of it got really good reviews and people really liked it, but there were still people it was okay. It's like, it was great. It was pretty great. They're like, nah, it was just kind of a big chase movie. I'm like, almost every aspect of a Mad Max movie is a chase movie. Like, it's, Mad Max going after people, or they're going after him. There's never once a moment where it's just kind of like everyone hanging out in a room. There may be scenes like that, but then they all hop on in their vehicles and they go. So there's only a couple movies I continue to watch. The Deadpool was the latest one, and we've talked extensively about that. And that's kind of where I'm at. I know this is about a half an hour, but I think I'm going to cut it here. I don't have a whole lot of talking points. It's just a lot of build up to other great and fun things. Last week, just kind of add to everything, I did try to do a 4K vidcast. That kind of fell short. Like, nothing that I had ever showed 4K. So this week I'm 1080p at 60 frames per second. So hopefully that looks really good. And everything does well on that. It was like 40 gigs because it was an hour-long 4K video. And when I shot it, I had it on my phone, and then I had the podcast. The podcast went up. I had to take that audio and try to splice everything together. Well, the audio was just slightly too big for the programs I use on my iPad, and transferring, like airdropping a 40 gig file took 3 hours to do. That was that was major. I appreciate everybody who watched that vidcast. That got some great great views on that. And that was like the most time intensive thing I had to do, because I had to go through the audio. I just split it in half and then export it twice. So the first part and the second part, and hopefully everything's spliced together back in the software, and then process it, which took 6 hours, even on my iPad. And it's not a power horse. It's not meant to be doing that kind of stuff, but it was processing in 4K. At the very end of it, it stalled in my iPad. It like force quit the app. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I have to get this up in like 2 hours. And so I went back in, and it showed it, and it finished it, and I was like, oh, thank goodness. And then the process, it only took an hour to upload to YouTube, and that's where I was, kind of going back to Charter for a quick second. The Charter gods were like, oh, yeah, there's a 40 gig video file that you need to put up on YouTube. Yeah, do it in 60 minutes. Which is beyond, really? Like, everything else was just really sluggish, and I couldn't do this and I couldn't do that. But, I can put up 4K videos all day. It'll just take me a while to get that. But I'm really excited about where the future lies for the Dream Saga. I hope you guys will continue to enjoy the content I create. If you have any ideas of things that you want me to do or places you want me to go in St. Louis, let me know. I will do everything I possibly can to go there and interview the staff, or take a picture in front of it and do a review on some food. Whatever you want. I'm here for you. I'm here to bring my personality to the situation. I have a bigger-than-life personality, which you can't tell because my face is very unexpressive. I'm joking. But yeah, please let me know. I am totally up for suggestions. I want to do this with you. So hit that like button, subscribe. Thanks for coming to the Dream Saga. My name is Cody. Have a wonderful night.